Good afternoon. Please. Welcome to the White House. It is truly inspiring to see everyone gather here together, united in support of this remarkable initiative and community. As I stand here and observe the audience, I recognize the vital importance of each one of you to this mission, to our future generations. In particular, I would like to thank the cabinet secretaries, Congress members, scholarship donors, and various organizations for their unending advocacy. A special thank you to my husband for his enduring commitment to fostering the future. The President has prioritized America's foster care children, and shortly, he will sign our Fostering the Future Executive Order. Too many people from foster care community end up homeless, in danger on America's streets. It was 2021 when I developed the idea to establish an impactful platform with an important mission to provide individuals from the foster care community the ability to secure an entry-level job position, and in turn, financial independence. Fostering the Future, a Be Best initiative, provides individuals from the foster care community with technology-based scholarships to attend colleges and universities throughout America. Fostering the Future sets these individuals on their career paths, but more significantly, it equips each scholarship recipient with a fundamental foundation of knowledge that will endure throughout their lifetimes. Permanency for those who embody the fleeting. I applaud the American universities that have joined my mission, institutions like Vanderbilt University, University of Miami, and Villanova University. Following graduation, scholarship recipients from my program are prepared to enter the workforce and ultimately become leading executives. Predictably, they will manage thousands of employees and generate significant value for American communities through job creation, access to healthcare, food security, and other societal benefits. This executive order, Fostering the Future for American Children and Families, gives me tremendous pride. It is both empathetic and strategic. It will certainly be impactful. It aims to establish a comprehensive network connecting federal departments and agencies, private sector's businesses, higher learning institutions, and charitable organizations. This will create new educational and employment opportunities countrywide. Our faith-based organizations will continue playing a vital and consequential role. My hope, of course, is that this level of coordinated collaboration will sustain. But today, I call on leadership from these various organizations, including the private sector, to join my effort, rise above the ease of inaction. I predict this small spark today will ignite a profound and lasting nationwide movement. Our united resolve will foster a thriving future filled with compassion and innovation. Together, we will illuminate the pathway for today's foster children to become tomorrow's builders. And tomorrow's builders will foster the future of America's legacy. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce my husband, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
I think it's very good, especially for someone that speaks 5 languages at least. I think that's pretty amazing. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Yeah, well, thank you, Melania. And our country is truly blessed to have this magnificent and very caring First Lady. They love her. Every time I get up and make a speech, they say, "We want our First Lady." I said, "What the hell? I'm not good enough? I'm not good." But thank you very much. Great job. And it's great the work you do in so many ways. This afternoon, I'm delighted to sign a historic executive order building on the Fostering the Future initiative to make America's foster care system better, fairer, and more effective than ever before. And it's been effective, but it's moving in a very strong direction. All of this has been made possible by Melania's incredible devotion to America's youth. Spends a lot of time on it and loves it, and along with our great Usha, you spend so much time, and what a combination. First Lady, Second Lady, what a combination. Thank you. They do a great job, the two of them. They're amazing women. I want to thank Vice President J.D. Vance and Usha. Thank you very much. Vice President, stand up, Vice President. And he did a big thing today. He's going to be on television tonight with the legendary Sean Hannity, so everybody has to watch. I'm sure CNN loves this advertisement, but he will be. I heard it was a great interview. And Secretary Scott Bessent. Scott, thank you very much. An extremely non-controversial Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. But he's right. But he's right. And Scott Turner, thank you very much. Doing a great job at HELP. And thanks as well to Senator John Husted and Representatives Jason Smith, Darren LaHood, Zach Nunn, and David Schweikert. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, fellas. Great group. We're also joined by countless distinguished leaders in the child welfare advocacy, ministry, and charitable foundations, as well as so many wonderful young people who have experienced foster care and used their voices to champion needed reforms. And I want to thank everybody for being here. It's an amazing day at the White House. Thank you very much. And right behind me, by the way, in about 2 years from now, we'll use a much bigger room because we had to turn away a lot of people. And it'll be right here. This will be the entrance. That's a knockout paddle. It's called the knockout. It looks pretty nice right now, but it's going to look a lot better in a little while. And we're going to go from this room into a room that seats a few more people, and it's going to be beautiful. But I just noticed I happen to be standing here, Peter, and I thought I might as well get you a shot right now, a nice, beautiful shot at the future entrance to something that's really become very popular, the ballroom. They've wanted it for 150 years, and they're getting it, and they're getting the best. It'll be the best anywhere in the world. Each year, more than 15,000 young people age out of the foster care system, and unfortunately, too many struggle to become self-sufficient. The order I will sign in a few moments will provide vital new resources to help young people transition out of the foster care system and live a very happy and a very successful life, very, very successful. With this order, I'm directing the heads of the key federal departments and agencies to establish a Fostering the Future program in coordination with our wonderful First Lady's office. They're coordinating, and they've already been coordinating for quite some time, and I think I hear it's going really well. You're going to have some, when she gets involved in things, it works, I can tell you that. Under this major new initiative, great American companies and institutions will be signing a pledge to invest in teaching, training, and mentoring America's youth who are transitioning out of the foster care system. This will help provide jobs, education, and personal development opportunities to fantastic young people who truly need and deserve them, and they're going to get them. A terrific example of the impact these programs can have is Eric Alvarez from Omaha, Nebraska, who is with us today. Where is Eric? Where is he? Stand up. Good-looking guy. Good-looking guy. Eric and his siblings were placed in foster care for a year when he was 9. He entered the child welfare system again when he was 15, and today he credits a mentoring and mentorship and work experience program for foster youth with helping him to finish high school and start his adult life. And he did really well in high school, by the way, really a great student. But he starts life on the right foot, right? Wouldn't you say? I mean, I think you better say yes, otherwise I'm in big trouble. Otherwise, I'm all by myself up here, Eric. That would be. I hear you're doing incredibly. Now, after graduating from the University of Nebraska and interning for Congressman Don Bacon, Eric is pursuing a master's degree at the George Washington University, and he is a cadet in the Air Force ROTC who will be commissioned as an officer upon graduation. And Eric, I just want to say, great job. You've really been outstanding, and I think that's probably why you were chosen out of so many people. You've done a fantastic job. Congratulations. The new initiative we're establishing will also create an opportunity for foster youth to take full responsibility of the federal tax credit scholarship program established by the One Big Beautiful Bill. So many things, tax cuts and regulation cuts, so many things. The biggest ever passed in the history of our country. I call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill. I changed the name a little bit to make it even more sublime. But it is, there's so many things in there for everybody. The biggest, we had a choice. We could have done it in 9 different bills or try for the one, and everybody said, no, let's do it in 9. It'll be easier. Actually, it wouldn't have gotten done. And J.D. and I and Scott and all of us got together and we said, let's give it a shot, and we got it passed. And it was an amazing thing, but it's going to help a lot of people. There's never been anything like it. As in one bill, there's never been anything close. And when you see what's going on with the Democrats, we're lucky we got it passed because we don't have to do anything. All we have to do is implement it now, and we'll be implementing it all over the place. If you think about it, no tax on tips, right? No tax on Social Security, all of the different things, no tax on overtime. You get deductions if you buy a car. You take an interest rate deduction, an interest deduction against your income tax. It's never happened. Nothing like this has really ever been approved to this extent. And so it is one great, big, beautiful bill. But using the tax credit will expand occupational training, education, and financial literacy programs for the foster youth and make it possible for more of them to attend the school of their choice. Choice is a great word for a lot of reasons, but it's a great thing with education. And we'll also create the new Fostering the Future online platform to help young people find the access and really get great housing, very, very important and beautiful housing, health care, and other resources available to foster youth and those transitioning out of foster care. And we think it's going to happen with many, many people, many more than you have right now. Under the Trump administration, we believe that every American child deserves a safe and loving home, and we're determined to support the amazing families who help make that happen. And we have some of those families in the room today, and I just want to thank you all for being in the White House. There is no place like this, and we want to thank you very much for being here. Great families. Thank you very much. Faith-based, thank you. Faith-based nonprofits are the nation's most trusted institutions, interacting with the foster care system and practicing Christians and more. Think of this, more than twice as likely foster care. They'll adopt the general population. They adopt to it so easily. When they get out, they adopt to it just like becomes second nature. It's amazing. Yet radical left policies in states nationwide make it much harder, not easier, for those families to open up their homes. But we're working on that. We're dealing with the radical left. It's not easy, but we're winning, and we're winning big. That's why with the order that we're doing today, we're taking the ridiculous woke policies that discriminate against Christians and families of faith, As president, I will always stand by us. We will stand by our country, and we will stand for religious liberty. So important. We stand for religious liberty. The Bible tells us, thank you. Thank you. The Bible tells us that one of the measures of any society is how it cares for vulnerable children and orphans. So important, and it's so big in the Bible. So as we make America great again, we are going to protect American children in foster care, and we're going to ensure that they will never, ever be forgotten. These children will never be forgotten, and they're going to grow up to be unbelievable, strong, smart, wealthy, productive citizens. So once more, I want to thank Melania for the great job she does, not here only just as First Lady. She's a great First Lady. And I want to thank you very much, honey, and the foster families and leaders here today. You're very special people, and we're going to work together, and we're going to have some absolutely incredible results. Thank you all for being here. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's great. Are you ready, everybody? This is it. Too late to change after. Should we sign it? I think, right? Susie, do we sign this? Good. I'm going to ask the First Lady to sign it also. Honey, sign it right there.
Sure.
Okay?
Yes, of course.
Okay, honey? Very nice. No, rambunctious. They've been doing some shooting, and we think maybe the leadership isn't involved in it. There are some rebels within, but either way, it's going to be handled properly.
Is the
It's going to be handled toughly, but properly.
Is the ceasefire still in place?
Yeah, it is.
Mr. President, on Colombia, Senator Graham,
The country of Colombia.
the country of Colombia, Senator Graham tweeted that you would be imposing tariffs on the country either today or tomorrow. Can you give any details as to how much those tariffs might be
Well,
or what we can expect?
I read the statement of Senator Graham, and it's correct. Yeah.
Do you-
I was with him today. We were working today, and I read his statement, and it's correct. Yeah.
But how much the tariff rate? Do you
Well,
have
I'll
a
let you
rate in
know
mind?
tomorrow. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Tomorrow it will be announced?
Yeah.
Are you?
Jay Jones has repeatedly said that if he wins in Virginia, that he
Who said what?
Jay Jones in Virginia.
Jay
said-
Jones, you mean the one that wanted to kill somebody's children
yes,
and kill
Democrat.
somebody? You mean the animal that
Yes.
wanted to kill somebody?
Yeah, he
Who
said
should
he
not
can't
be
wait to
allowed
see
to be
you.
running for that office?
Yeah, he said he can't wait to see you in court. I'm wondering if you have a response and if you're considering getting involved in that race.
Well, what is he saying?
He said in the debate on Thursday night that he can't wait to sue your administration and see you in court.
No, he's a third-rate intellect. He's a guy who I've never seen anybody say what he said. That he wanted to kill his opponent's children. He wanted to kill his opponent. No, I can't imagine anybody voting for Jay Jones. Look, you would think he's totally discredited. I would think he wouldn't even be allowed to do that. Anybody would be put in prison for what he said. So he can join the long list of attorney generals that have been suing and losing. But the people of this country want law, they want order, they want safety. They don't want to be mugged or raped or shot, and that's what we provide. We have tremendous numbers also. You see the crime numbers are coming way down, way down. Then you take a look at a place like Washington, D.C., which is now one of the safest cities in the country. It's one of the worst cities, most dangerous cities. We moved out 1,700 career criminals and people that came here through Biden and his open border policy. And Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities, and Memphis is doing fantastically also. We went in there a week ago, and there's a bumpy flight. I better say that, otherwise they'll say, what's wrong with the president? There's a bumpy flight. But Memphis is doing really well. I think that Chicago will do very well. We're going to go into San Francisco at some point in the not-too-distant future and make that a great city again. It can only be a great city if it doesn't have crime. If it has crime, it can't be a great city.
A question on Colombia. Are you concerned that if aid is cut to Colombia, that would undermine Colombia's fight against drugs? A lot of U.S. aid.
They don't have a fight against drugs. They make drugs. They refine drugs. They make cocaine. They have cocaine factories. They have no fight against drugs. And I'm stopping all payments to Colombia because they don't have anything to do with their fight against drugs. And in fact, even when they had better presidents than they have right now, that's how they're making a lot of money. Drugs. I used to complain about it when they had a very nice president, but he wasn't good. It was all talk. They are a drug manufacturing machine, Colombia, and we're not going to be part of it. So we're going to drop all money that we're giving to them. It has nothing to do with them stopping drug production. And you look at the fields are loaded up with drugs, and they refine the drugs, and they make tremendous amounts of cocaine, and they send it all over the world, and they destroy families. No, Colombia is out of control, and now they have the worst president they've ever had. He's a lunatic who's got a lot of problems, mental problems.
One more question on Colombia. The Colombian president says that the U.S. killed a innocent Colombian fisherman in one of the strikes.
Yeah,
Do you
they said
respond to
that when we shot down a submarine, that they were just fishing. This is a submarine.
this is a previous
This was a
strike.
submarine that was meant, by the way, this was a submarine that was meant for one reason and made for one reason, to carry massive amounts of drugs. Yeah,
He
go
agrees
ahead.
with that, but that's not the right strike that he's talking about. He's talking about a previous strike.
Mr. President, on the shutdown, do you want to see the premium tax credits extended if the Democrats vote to reopen the government?
Let me just tell you that there'll be no money given toward their crazy escalation of giving money to illegal aliens that came into the country totally illegally. I mean, they came in illegally. They want to spend 1.5 trillion with a T, trillion dollars, giving it to people that came into the country illegally. They shouldn't have come in. In fact, one of the reasons they came in was to get this money. And California is a big culprit. I mean, California, they're out of control. And we're not going to pay California all of that money that they're giving away illegally. That's another thing. Between California and Colombia, there's not that much difference. We're not going to be making those payments.
Just to follow up to that, sorry, a July survey
Who are
by
you with, Liz?
the Washington Post. A July survey by your pollster, Tony Fabrizio, found that 72% of voters across political parties like the ACA tax credits. Are you worried that you might get blamed if you don't help get those through?
Well, we want to have great health care, so we'll do whatever we can do to have great health care. But the Democrats want to destroy all health care because they want to give $1.5 trillion of this money, and they want additional money to go to people that came into our country illegally. Many of them are from prisons and mental institutions, and we're not going to destroy our health care for the Democrats.
Mr. President, there were reports, and you even mentioned that in a recent phone call with Prime Minister Modi, and that Modi had said his country would stop purchases of Russian oil.
Yeah, he's going to stop purchasing.
But India said that they were not aware.
Well, then they're going to just keep paying a lot of tariffs.
Did you have the
If they
phone
said
call,
that, but
or-
I don't believe they said that. No, I spoke with Prime Minister Modi of India, and he said he's not going to be doing the Russian oil thing. So that's it.
But why would India say that they're not going to?
I don't know, but if they want to say that, then they'll just continue to pay massive tariffs, and they don't want to do that.
Following up on Friday, you said you had a cordial meeting with President Zelensky. During that meeting, did you tell him he needed to cede all of the Donbass region to Russia?
No, we never discussed it. We think that what they should do is just stop at the lines where they are, the battle lines. You have a battle line right now. And the rest is very tough to negotiate. If you're going to say, you take this, we take that, there's so many different permutations. So what I say is they should stop right now at the battle lines. Go home, stop killing people, and be done.
What do you think should happen with the Donbass region?
Let it be cut the way it is. It's cut up right now. I think 78% of the land is already taken by Russia. You leave it the way it is right now. They can negotiate something later on down the line. But I said cut and stop at the battle line. Go home. Stop fighting. Stop killing people.
What do you think of Mandami's photo with the 93 World Trade Center bombing?
Yeah, no, it's a shame. Look, the Mandami thing is it's a disaster waiting to happen. We can't have a communist in charge of a great, supposedly free enterprise, kind of a representative city. So I think if you have a communist mayor, I think it's going to be very tough for him and for the city.
Do you think he should oppose something like this so close to the election?
Oh, I think it's a shame that that particular man is endorsing him and very friendly with him. You can see there's a relationship.
Mr. President,
He blew up the World Trade Center, right?
and Mr. President,
Didn't the man you're talking about blow up the World Trade Center? And he's friends with Mandami?
Mr. President, sticking with New York City, you've talked about the Hudson River Tunnel, the infrastructure project. So you said that the funding has been terminated, but folks in New York have said that it's not terminated. So where does that
Well, as of
stand?
now, it's terminated, and that's up to me. And as of now, it's terminated, and it's terminated because the
funding-
Democrats are so foolish what they've done to the country. I mean, we have the hottest country in the world. There's no country even close, and they just want to do this. There's nothing for them to do. All they have to do is just say, let everything continue. And I will say a lot of Democrats want this to get over.
So the administration right now is not sending funding.
Right now, there is no funding because it's up to me.
What is your response to the protest?
Who are you with?
I'm with the AP.
With AP,
What's your response to the protest over the weekend, the No Kings protest in Saturday?
I think it's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. And I looked at all the brand new signs paid for, I guess it was paid for by Soros and other radical left lunatics. It looks like it was. We're checking it out. The demonstrations were very small, very ineffective, and the people were whacked out. When you look at those people, those are not representative of the people of our country.
Mr. President, besides San Francisco,
And by the way, I'm not a king. I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
besides San Francisco, are there other cities you're actively looking at for the National Guard right now?
Yeah. What about it?
I'm just wondering if you care to comment on that.
Well, we've used the National Guard to be very successful in Memphis. You can see the numbers are falling like rocks. Washington, D.C., Chicago is getting better, even though we're going through a lot. And, you know, we're trying to do it in a very nice way. I'm allowed, as you know, as president, like 50% of the presidents have used the Insurrection Act. You can use that. And everybody agrees you're allowed to use that, and there's no more court cases, there's no more anything. We're trying to do it in a nicer manner, but we can always use the Insurrection Act if we want. I mean, you take a look in the past, one in particular president used it 28 times during the course of our presidency. So we're allowed to do that. We thought we could do it in a very nice way. All we want to do is have safe cities. We're not looking for anything that would be spectacular other than crime-free becomes spectacular. We want to have great crime-free cities. So I'd be allowed to use, if I wanted, the Insurrection Act, and then all of this nonsense would go away. You have the absolute right. It's the strongest power a president has, and you have the absolute right to do it. We wanted to go this route, but we get sued every time you look at somebody. You look at somebody the wrong way and you end up getting sued. We just want no crime. We want to have crime-free cities. That's not a big, I mean, it's pretty common sense, I think, but that's all I want is crime-free cities. I campaigned on it. It's become, I think, even more successful than we thought because of the tremendous success that we had literally in 12 days in Washington, D.C., and it continues. But Washington, D.C., we're so proud of it. People are eating in their restaurants. Restaurants are opening. All the stores and restaurants were closing. You couldn't walk down the street without being mugged or worse. And now it's a safe city. I mean, it's considered a very safe city. And it's safe because we took 1,700 people out of there and brought them back to where they came from. Yeah.
You said you're going to South Korea and eventually meet with China.
I am. That's right.
Can you tell us more about your goals for your trip to Asia? Where else you may be going?
I have a very good relationship with President Xi of China. We're having disputes on things. They're paying us a lot of money, tremendous amount of money in tariffs, and they'd probably like to have it be less, and we'll work on that, but they have to give us some things too. Right now, China's paying a tremendous amount of money in tariffs, like they've never paid before. You know, they paid a lot during my first administration, my first term. Now they're paying an unbelievable amount of money to the United States. They probably can't pay that much, and I'm okay with that. We can lower that, but they have to do things for us too. It's no longer a one-way street.
What would you lower it to, do you think?
Depends. I mean, we'll have to see what they want. One of the penalties we have it because they're sending in fentanyl, we have a 20%, as you know, a 20% tariff on that. But they'd be paying about 157% tariff, which is, you know, record-setting type tariff. I don't want them to do that. I want to help China. I'm not going to hurt China.
Sticking with China.
But they have to give us things too.
Sticking with China, Mr. President, on soybeans, are you confident that you'll
I
be
want
able to
them
get
to
a
buy
deal?
soybeans. One of the things I want is China's going to buy soybeans. I want China to stop with the fentanyl. Very, you know, normal things. I don't want them to play the rare earth game with us.
But you want them to, but do you think they will make a deal on soybeans?
I do
and start
believe, yeah,
taking-
because otherwise I'm not going to make a deal. No, I want them to buy. Our farmers have been boycotted by China as a negotiating point. I don't want that. Our farmers are great, and in particular our soybean farmers, and I want them to start buying soybeans at least in the amount that they were buying before. And I believe they'll be able to do
But
that.
sticking with soybeans and Argentina, you're looking to do that deal with Argentina, let me also. So
With respect to beef?
are we expecting a big
No,
deal?
I assume you're talking about beef. Yeah.
No,
to get beef prices down. The only price we have that's high is beef, and we'll get that down. And one of the things we're thinking about doing is beef from Argentina.
But my question is, what do you have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, as they are a top
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money. They have no anything. They're fighting so hard to survive. If I can help them survive in a free world, I happen to like the president of Argentina. I think he's trying to do the best he can, but don't make it sound like they're doing great. They are dying. All right? They're dying.
What do you mean by a beef deal, sir?
We would buy some beef from Argentina. If we do that, that will bring our beef prices down. Because our groceries are down, our energy prices are down. Well, I think we're going to have $2 gasoline pretty soon. We're getting close. And everything's down. The one thing that's kept up is beef. And if we buy some beef, now I'm not talking about that much from Argentina, it would help Argentina, which we consider a very good country, a very good ally in a place. Although I must tell you, if you take a look now, South America is turning. The South American countries are starting to turn turn very much toward us.
And for you
They're
as
getting away
farmers-
from socialism, and you can go right down the pack. But they are starting to turn. It's pretty
May
amazing.
I ask you about Israel again? Do you feel that Israel was justified with striking what it did
Striking where?
in Gaza today and overnight?
I'd have to get back to you on that. I'd have to get back.
What is the next step?
Because we're going to be determined. You know, all of that's is under consideration right now. It's under review.
Mr. President, on Harvard.
Who you with?
I'm with the Washington Post.
That's what I thought.
On Harvard, you said the other week that you had reached a deal, but we haven't heard anything. What's the holdup?
Well, we reached a concept of a deal, but it's pretty complicated because under this deal would be $500 million. They're going to open up trade schools, and I love the idea of trade and trade schools like Harvard. So, you know, they get into like a vocational type school. And the one problem with it, it's very complicated. You know, when do they start? How do they start? Who do they use? You know, there's 1,000 different things, and we may just charge them a fine, big fine, $500 million fine.
Mr. President,
And they won't do it again. And if they do, we'll have to just charge them another fine.
you haven't weighed in on the Virginia gubernatorial race that's in a few weeks. Do you plan to endorse the lieutenant
Well,
governor?
I think the Republican candidate is very good, and I think she should win because the Democrat candidate's a disaster. So I haven't been too much involved in Virginia. I love the state. I did very well in the state. But I will tell you, I think the Republican candidate is excellent, and I think the Democrat candidate is a disaster.
So
I
is
mean,
that-
I watched her in the debate. She couldn't answer the most basic question. And, you know, a big thing with that race and also the race in New Jersey is going to be energy. Both of the Democrats are going to drive the energy prices through the roof. Through the roof. Your energy is going to double and triple. If the Republican gets elected, your energy is going to be coming down by 70, 80%. Thank you very much, everybody. Vote
Thank you, sir.
Republican.
Should your
Hello, everybody. Have a good trip. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a very long trip, right? What's up?
What are you expecting from your meeting with President Xi, and what is your message to him?
We have a lot of things to discuss, including our farmers. Right? We have a lot of things to discuss. The various trade deals that have been made in the past, and some broken, some not broken, but we've got many, many things. I think it's going to turn out to be a very good meeting.
Do they need to make concessions to get a deal? Are you willing to pause
Yeah,
tariffs?
sure. They have to
with
make
other-
concessions. I guess we would too. We're at a 157% tariff for them. I don't think that's sustainable for them, and they want to get that down. And we want certain things from them. I think it'll be very good.
What do you think the odds are you go ahead? Sorry, what do you think the odds are you go ahead with that 100% tariff on November 1st?
I don't know. I have no odds. I don't want to predict odds. I don't think they would want that. That would not be good for them. And I wouldn't like to see it.
What's your view on what Canada needs to do to get things back on track?
Canada lied. I mean, what they did was terrible. They made up a fake statement by President Reagan. Reagan was a big supporter of tariffs when needed, and we need tariffs for national security, and they totally turned it around because they're getting hurt by tariffs and we're gaining by tariffs. They've used tariffs on us when we had different presidents very successfully, and they've taken a lot of money out of our country, and now we're taking it all back. And so they went out and they made a fake commercial. The Reagan Foundation went crazy when they saw it because it was, the opposite. It was the opposite of what Ronald Reagan liked tariffs, and when necessary, he would use tariffs. And it's made us a very rich country. It's also made us, when they were used against us, it was not good for us. But we've used them very successfully. We have the highest stock market we've ever had. We have great national security. I've settled wars because of tariffs. And a president has the right to use tariffs, especially when it comes to national security. And we need it for national security, even including our own wealth and paying down debt and all of the other things. So, we're in very good shape with that. But they took a commercial saying the exact opposite, Canada. And so I'm very disappointed in Canada. They lied. I mean, it was a fraud what they did.
What can they do to get it back on track, though?
I don't know. I mean, I'm satisfied with the deal we have. We have a deal right now that's very good for us, and any deal that would have been made would have been better for them than the one they have right now. That's why I was surprised they did this. They did this to try and influence the Supreme Court. And many foreign countries aren't particularly happy, but they took advantage of us for years. For years and years they took advantage. And presidents shouldn't have allowed that to happen, but they did. So really, I don't think there's much they can do. I just assume leave it the way it is.
Will you meet with
You
Prime
know, if you
Minister
leave it
Carney?
the way it is, it's very good for us.
Will you meet with Prime Minister Carney during this trip?
I don't have any intention of it now.
Do you
What do you expect of your meeting with the new Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi?
I hear great things about her. I think she's going to be great. She was a great friend of Mr. Abe, who was a great man, Prime Minister Abe, and a great friend of mine, as you know, and he was just a fantastic person, and he liked her a lot. She liked him a lot. So that's a good sign. But I look forward to meeting her.
She's reportedly planning to bring plans to buy Ford F-150 pickup trucks.
Good. Well, that's good. They're great trucks. Are you saying I have that plan or she has that plan?
She has that plan.
That's great. She has good taste. That's a hot truck.
That she might eventually try to renegotiate the more than.
She might. Look, I'm open to whatever we have a great relationship with Japan, and we're going to have a fantastic relationship with her. So we'll see what happens.
Do you believe that China played a role at all in establishing peace between Cambodia and Thailand in their recent conflict? Did China help in that process?
Well, they weren't involved. No, they weren't involved.
Will you still preside over this?
Malaysia was involved, actually. So Malaysia helped us. One of the reasons I'm going to Malaysia is they were very much involved in that, the whole thing, Thailand and all. And I told the leader of Malaysia, who's a very good man, I said, I think I owe you a trip. And that's why we're stopping in Malaysia for that reason. Malaysia was very much involved.
Sir, while in South Korea, do you have any plans to meet with Kim Jong-un at the DMZ?
Well, I would if he would contact. I mean, I was, the last time I met you, and I put it out over the internet that I'm coming to South Korea. If he'd like to meet, I'm open to it, certainly. We had a very, yeah, I'd do it. I mean, if you want to put out the word, I'm open to it. You know, they don't have a lot of telephone service. They have a lot of nuclear weapons, but not a lot of telephone service. So I'm open to it. I had a great relationship with him, and he probably knows I'm coming, right? But you want to put out the word, I'm open to it.
Do you expect
to touch at all before this trip?
Really, there's not a lot of ways other than the internet. You know, they have very little telephonic service, and but he knows I'm coming, and he would. Yeah, I'd be open to it 100%. I got along very well with Kim Jong-un.
Do you expect to finalize your trade deal with, or your tariff deal with South Korea on this trip? It hasn't been signed
Well, it's
yet.
pretty close to being finalized, I think, and so it could be. If they have it ready, I'm ready.
How about Malaysia and Cambodia? Those trade deals, are you ready?
Yeah, sure. If the papers are ready, we have deals with a lot of people, and they're very good deals. I hope they're very good for everybody.
Do you know if the signing ceremony?
Who you with?
I'm with Politico.
Politico. Wow, that's good.
Do you know if the signing ceremony
Stepping up their game. That's good.
is still going forward? There's a report just as we were leaving.
Which one?
That the Thailand Prime Minister may not attend due to a death in Thailand, or
Well, there was a change.
Yeah.
There was a death. So I don't know. I really
don't know this.
No, I don't know that.
How did you manage to find somebody to pay for our troops during the shutdown?
He's a great gentleman. He's a great patriot. He's obviously a very substantial man, and he contributed $130 million toward the military in order to make up any difference. So he wanted to see the military get paid. So did I. And he's a wonderful man, and he doesn't want publicity. He doesn't, he'd prefer, I think, that his name not be mentioned, which is pretty unusual in the world I come from. And in the world of politics, you want your name mentioned. He doesn't. He's a great patriot. He really is. He put up $130 million in order to make sure that's a lot of money, in order to make sure that the military got paid. And he's a big supporter of mine.
is it an American citizen?
It is, yeah. Great American citizen.
Do you want Congress to pass a bill to allow 42 million Americans to continue to get food stamps during the shutdown?
I'm going to let some other people talk to you. I'll have a comment on that later, but the Democrats are stopping it
all they have to do is agree to let's go and we're ready. And we voted for it many times. All we need is 5 Democrats. The Republicans vote for it, but we'll see what happens. But really, this is purely Democrat. They're doing some really bad things. I think they're lost souls. You know what that is? They are lost souls.
After this trip, do you think you'll sit down with Hakeem Jeffries and?
I would. I'd be willing to. I would have now too. You know, I left. I said, "Come on over. Just put the government back. All they have to do is say yes, and it's over, and we start, and then we go into a negotiation." Look, Obamacare has been terrible. We can make it better. I'm all for that, but they're not, and they want to allow many illegal people that came into our country illegally from prisons, from mental institutions, from all over the world. They want them to get paid, and that's going to hurt the citizens of our country, and I just can't do it.
What influence do you want China to exert on Russia to stop?
I'd love China to help us out with Russia. We put very big sanctions on Russia. I think those sanctions are going to be, they're very biting, they're very strong, but I'd like to see China help us out. I have a good relationship with, as you know, President Xi, very good. We're going to be meeting. We'll have a good meeting. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a great meeting, maybe a great meeting. But I think we're going to do some good business. One of the things we'll talk about is the Russia-Ukraine. They're killing 7,000 people a week, soldiers, mostly soldiers, and we'll certainly be talking about that. He'd like to see that end too.
And do you worry that the sanctions are so biting that you might push Putin too far?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. He's saying, well, they won't have that much of an effect. So I don't know. Yeah, that's what he says. I don't think he's right about that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think he'd like to see it over with.
Earlier this week, you said that you don't think that China would make any moves on Taiwan. What gives you that idea?
China would what?
Would make any moves on Taiwan? What makes you think that?
I hope they won't. We'll have to see. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I hope they won't. I think it would be very dangerous for them to do.
Are you open to changing U.S. policy on Taiwan?
Well, I don't want to talk about that now. I don't want to create any complexity. The trip is already complex enough, right?
Is there any reason?
But I think China wants to have 10 great years. And they can, they can. Or they can have some bad years, and they don't want that. And we're going to have a very good meeting.
If you don't get a deal, what will you do for U.S. farmers who are being impacted by the
We're going to
soybean?
subsidize them, and we'll give them some money because it's not their fault. They've been doing very well. They did very well under me. Even if you look at the ranchers for the first time in years have made some money, but the beef prices are up a little bit, so we'll have to make a determination. But the ranchers are very happy because, for many years they suffered. Now they're making a little money. They're making some money, and that's a good thing. I'm happy about that. So we'll see. But we'll see. Beyond that point, we'll see.
Back on North Korea, they say that in order to have talks with the U.S., they have to be recognized as a nuclear power. Is that something you're open to?
Well, I think they are sort of a nuclear power. I mean, I know how many weapons they have. I know everything about them. And I've had a very good relationship with Kim Jong-un. When you say they have to be recognized as a nuclear power, well, they got a lot of nuclear weapons, I'll say that. Okay, go ahead, please.
What kind of land targets in Venezuela do you want to strike? And how do you decide which ones to strike?
See with Venezuela, I can tell you one thing. We stopped all drugs virtually from coming in by sea. And we'll stop all drugs from coming in by land very shortly. You'll see that starting. They're not going to want to do that. They're not going to want to do that. But you're going to see drugs stopping coming into our country, just like we stopped prisoners and drug dealers, drug addicts, we have stopped virtually everybody from coming in, other than people that want to come in legally. We have a lot of people coming in legally, passing tests, going through a process. But we don't have people coming in from prisons and from mental institutions and the drug dealers. We don't have them coming in. We have almost nobody. We really have nobody. If you know, for 5 months in a row, they had 0 people come in. And we used to have 1 million and 2 million and 3 million people coming in.
Will you meet with Brazil's president on this trip? He's going to the
I believe we're meeting, yeah. I believe we met at the United Nations briefly.
just before I went on, and there was no teleprompter. They didn't allow my teleprompter to work. How about that one? But I gave a good speech anyway. Have a good trip,
Are
everybody.
you open to reducing the tariffs on Brazil?
Yeah, under the right circumstances, sure.
Did you talk about AI with President Xi?
Well, we're leading AI. We're leading China in AI. We're leading everybody in AI. We're doing very well. We have plants being built all over the country. We're going to have maybe $21 trillion by the time my first year's up. Nobody's ever had them. We've already hit $17 trillion. No country has ever hit numbers like that. That's investment into our country. We have auto factories open. You saw General Motors yesterday and Ford. They took a big leap forward because of tariffs, but they took a big leap. They went way up. We're respected again, really respected as a country, and a lot of that has to do with the tariffs. The tariffs are giving us national security and strength. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Have a good time. Go to sleep, everybody, right?
Are you going to sleep?
I don't know. I'd love to. I don't know. I don't know that I'm capable of it if you want to know, but I'm going to try. This is a long trip. The answer is, I would imagine so. Have fun. Have fun.
All right, thank you, Mr. President.
These forces give America options. They can project strength, deter aggression, and if called upon, fight and win. They are forward, mobile, and ready, standing watch and projecting power in support of our national security objectives. Today's demonstration is more than a show of strength. It is a reminder of purpose. The ships, the aircraft, and the Marines you see are part of a living legacy stretching back 250 years, a force that remains, as ever, the first to fight. Long before armor hits the beach, Marines and sailors are shaping the fight. Under the cover of darkness, reconnaissance Marines are inserted by a KC-130J Super Hercules, executing a high-altitude, low-opening insertion, also known as a halo jump. Marines land in contested areas, inaccessible by other platforms, because Marines go where others can't. The Super Hercules ramp drops. The reconnaissance Marines move out, disciplined, deliberate, light on their feet, heavy with purpose. They carry sensors, communications assets, and the mindset of trading comfort for mission success. Their task is to locate obstacles, chart enemy positions, refine landing lanes, and report exactly what the assault force will encounter when it lands. These Marines are the eyes and ears, observing the situation on the ground and relaying critical intelligence to the mission commander. Simultaneously, a SEAL team employing a dry combat submersible take the beach undetected, infiltrating the area of operations. This mission: confirm enemy disposition, identify obstacles, and establish a landing zone for follow-on forces. They use advanced sensors, acoustic, thermal, and visual, to gather critical intelligence. This is a direct descendant of the scout swimmers used in World War II, but with exponentially increased capability. Ask them where the aircraft are. Waiting on aircraft, sir. Setting conditions for the Marines and sailors coming ashore. Aviation assets conduct strikes on enemy positions, thinning the enemy formations and distracting from the coming insertion of additional Navy SEALs. Shaping the littoral environment from combatant craft medium. A direct action SEAL team descends from the sky, inserting via helocast. This airborne low signature technique allows the SEALs to use a combination of boats to rapidly infiltrate the beach. Their mission is the key to neutralize enemy strongpoints, clear obstacles, and establish a secure beachhead. The SEALs are not seeking a protracted engagement. They are creating a window of opportunity for the main assault force. Above it all, strike aircraft stand ready to deliver deep effects on a commander's order, ensuring every move is backed by overwhelming American air power. Together, the quiet work of recon, the shaping of naval special warfare, and the mass and maneuver of the Marine Corps create conditions for victory before the first wave even hits the sand. This is the culmination of shaping operations, stealth and precision, enabling the massed, disciplined momentum of the Marine Corps. Sensor data flows into analytic tools that highlight threats, predict enemy movements, and surface opportunities. The Marine Corps of 2025 makes decisions in minutes, sometimes seconds. Every Marine is a sensor. Every vehicle is a node in a network that shortens the kill chain. As naval infantry, Marines exist to seize enemy beaches from the sea. Known as Forcible Entry Operation, the layering of reconnaissance, surface and air assets enables Marine to arrive violently on the enemy shore, establish a beachhead, and flow Marine and joint forces ashore. As the amphibious combat vehicles prepare to make landfall, the previously inserted SEALs have found their first target, an enemy machine gun bunker, established to interdict the landing of Marines, preventing the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit from establishing a foothold on Red Beach. They will fail. Communicating with strike aircraft, providing overwatch high above, the Reconnaissance Marine, a qualified joint terminal attack controller, requests an airstrike to destroy the enemy threat.
Board in flight, advise when ready. Game plan, 9 line.
Ready.
Type 2, bomb on target. 1 by GBU 54 each aircraft. Cutlass 2 9er 8 11.3. 123 feet. Enemy machine gun bunker. 8-digit grid. Mike Sierra 5669er 839er6. Negative mark. Southwest 200 meters. Egress L. Pole Ram Ford. 16 block 18. Final attack heading 290 through 320. Danger close. Initials Juliet Sierra. Go with readbacks.
I read back from my system. 123 feet. 8-digit grid. Mike Sierra 5669er 839er 6. Final attack heading 290 through 320. Danger close. Initials November Whiskey.
Good readbacks. Immediate push.
Pushing. Cutlass.
Continue.
In 310.
Cleared hot. Battlefield effects for bombs.
On the horizon is the USS Boxer, flagship of this amphibious-ready group. A WASP-class amphibious assault ship, Boxer is sovereign U.S. territory, a floating airfield, hospital, and command center. She carries Marines, aircraft, and landing craft wherever America needs them. Today, she leads this formation, just as her namesake fought with distinction in the War of 1812. The original Boxer was known for the bravery of its crew and its effective use of naval tactics. The current USS Boxer carries a diverse air and surface warfare capability to support the Marine Expeditionary Unit's mission set. Beside her sails the USS Comstock, a dock landing ship named for the pioneering history of the American West. She delivers Marines, vehicles, and craft to the fight. At H-hour, the exact synchronized moment when the assault hits the beach, the ocean transforms into a battlefield. From beyond the horizon, amphibious combat vehicles smash through the surf, their armored hulls carrying Marines straight into the fight. Expeditionary and modernized in design, the ACV integrates with naval shipping and ship-to-shore connectors. The ACV's ability to use the ocean and waterways to carry Marines and equipment make it well suited for a variety of operating environments. The ACV is lethal, balancing performance, protection, and payload, enabling it to support stand-in forces in the Pacific. Overhead, helicopter pilots prowl the battle space, hunting targets and passing target data back to the Marines ashore. UH-1 Yankee Venoms slice low across the surf, their sensors fusing with unmanned systems to extend the battlefield picture. AH-1 Zulu Vipers orbit like bird of prey, digitally linked to advanced sensors on air, land, and sea. Every rocket, every burst of 20-millimeter fire is synchronized across the kill web. Precision, speed, and shock brought together in one fight.
These aircraft are part of the Muse Aviation Combat Element, which comprises tilt-rotor aircraft, transport helicopters, attack helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft, air defense teams, and ground support assets. The Air Combat Element boasts about 600 personnel to man and maintain all things air. Aviation is essential for distributed forces to leverage massed effects without the vulnerabilities of concentrated forces. As part of force design and force modernization, marine aviation continues to enhance its capabilities for operating in austere and distributed littoral environments to support stand-in forces.
CH-53E Super Stallions roar in low. Marines surge into the dust and chaos. They will fan out instantly, rifles up, establishing a security cordon, locking down approaches, feeding target data back into the fight, and setting the conditions for the assault to push inside. Marines never enter a fair fight. Well before the actions on the objective, Marines have set conditions for victory through training, planning, and technological overmatch. In support of the landing ACVs, a combined anti-armor team, or CAT, consisting of 20 Marines loaded onto various armored vehicles, trucks, and large all-terrain vehicles, move into the objective area to provide support by fire to the assault force. Comprised of two sections, the CAT consists of a joint light tactical vehicle, gun trucks that are modern, armored, and capable. Outfitted on these JLTVs are heavy weapons, M2 50 caliber machine guns, M2 47.62 millimeter machine guns, and Sabre missile systems. The Sabre missile system is a tube-launched, optically tracked, wire-guided missile that enables Marines to punch through enemy armor and reinforce positions. Alongside these JLTVs is the Marine Corps' latest kinetic anti-drone system, the LMATIS. The Light Marine Air Defense Integrated System is mounted to a highly mobile and versatile ultralight tactical vehicle. In this era of modern warfare, the LMATIS enables Marines to spoof, jam, and defeat drone threats from non-kinetic electronic attack capabilities.
This isn't theory, it's proven. In July of 2019, aboard the USS Boxer, Marines employed the LMATIS to take down an Iranian drone, threatening the ship in the Strait of Hormuz. No missiles, no explosions. A non-kinetic strike, delivered at the speed of electrons, sent that unmanned aircraft crashing into the sea. Precision, control, real-world success. The kind of success that defines the Marine Corps in modern warfare. The Marines aboard the ACVs represent the ground combat element. The GCE is comprised of a battalion landing team, a reinforced infantry battalion with significant combat power. The ground combat element has the greatest number of personnel within the MU at approximately 1,100 Marines and sailors. Representing a balanced fusion of modernity and Marine grit, The Marines of the Ground Combat Element embrace emerging technologies to outpace future threats while relying on timeless, battle-proven methods to fight and win. As the infantry-centered core of the Marine Air Ground Task Force, the Ground Combat Element will harness robotics, artificial intelligence, and advanced sensors to expand reach and tempo across the multi-domain battle space.
Four FA-18s thunder low over the formation, their vapor trails painting the sky. Above them, two F-35s burn steady and silent, watching every angle. This is more than a spectacle, it's a message. A show of force shapes behavior. It deters the hesitant and sends a clear message to any adversary. We can see you. We can strike you. And if need be, we will. Supporting Marines on the ground, compressing decision time for the enemy, and creating a deadly air-ground dilemma. It's got to be coming. High above the battlefield, the sky erupts into an integration of generations. FA-18 Hornets carve aggressive turns, climbing and diving, pushing the fight with raw speed and agility. From above, stealthy F-35 Lightning IIs lock on, their sensors fusing every moment into digital battlespace. What you're watching is more than a dogfight. It's Marine Corps aviators creating air superiority. This allows ground forces to seize and hold the objective, Hornets and Lightnings, proving that the modern fight, dominance comes from teamwork across the spectrum. Fast, lethal, unstoppable. Over Red Beach, the F-35 Bravo demonstrates what sets it apart from every other fifth-generation fighter, the ability to hover. The vertical lift fan engine engages, holding the aircraft steady in midair, a capability unique to the Marine Corps. Hoverflight allows the F-35B to operate in the most austere environments, far from established runways. Marines can build forward arming and refueling points, known as FARPs, in the dirt, on the road, or on an island airstrip, and keep these aircraft in the fight where they're needed most. And when the fight shifts to the sea, the F-35 Bravo brings that same flexibility to the Navy. This short takeoff and vertical landing variant can touch down on amphibious assault ships, giving the Navy and Marine Corps a fifth-generation strike fighter that can project power from any climb or place. Amphibious combat vehicles ranch drop as Marines surge into the fight. Overhead, UH-1 Yankee Venoms and AH-1 Zulu Vipers rake enemy positions with rockets and cannon fire, while FA-18 Hornets scream down and deliver precision strikes. Targets shift and move, but there is no confusion. Every round, every bomb, every burst of fire is deconflicted with the Marines pressing forward on the ground. That discipline, that synchronization comes from our Joint Terminal Attack Controllers. JTACs orchestrate the modern battlefield. With a radio and a tablet, they control ordnance from joint aircraft in close proximity to maneuvering forces, linking air, land, and sea fires into one decisive punch. And the Marine Corps doesn't just employ JTACs for ourselves. We provide them to the Joint Force, setting the standard for precision, integration, and battlefield control. With fires synchronized, the battalion landing team presses into the objective area. Squads pushing through breach points, clearing house by house, street by street. Every corner secured, every building taken, until the objective is seized. Over the horizon, the sea roars, riding cushions of air. Navy landing craft air cushions, LCACs, burst into view. These massive hovercrafts, capable of carrying 60 tons and reaching speeds of 50 knots, carry the fight to the shore, bringing Marines, vehicles, and heavy firepower directly across the surf. From ship to ship, LCACs give the Navy and Marine Corps team unmatched speed, reach, and surprise, delivering combat power where the enemy least expects it.
The Navy does more than bring Marines to the fight. It sustains them. Ships offshore purify water, generate power, provide medical care, and deliver ammunition. Without sailors, the fight ashore would falter. With them, it endures. The logistics combat element surging supplies ashore is comprised of the Combat Logistics Battalion personnel and equipment designed to support and sustain the MEU for up to 15 days in an austere environment. The logistics combat element also provides service support that includes postal, medical, dental, supply, explosives ordnance disposal, fuels, and more. They accomplished this with just 300 Marines and sailors.
A 3-ship amphibious ready group consists of 1 big deck and 2 modern amphibious transport docks or dock landing ships that enable fleet and geographic combatant commanders options. This formation operates independently or in aggregate, and the sea-based Marines can be tailored for a wide range of missions conducted from ship to shore. The Amphibious Ready Group and Marine Expeditionary Unit is always present and always ready to project sustained combat power ashore, exactly when and where the joint force needs it. Look to the sky. Layered Navy air power thunders overhead. At 1,000 feet, fighters roar low, ready to unleash fire at a moment's notice. At 4,000 and 5,000 feet, strike and electronic attack aircraft circle like hawks, stacked for speed and dominance. Every jet you see was launched from the deck of the USS Theodore Roosevelt, a carrier strike group that carries the fight anywhere in the globe. From sea to sky to shore, this is the full might of carrier aviation. Loud, fast, unstoppable. As carrier aviation owns the skies and Marines press inland, the Navy sustains the fight. LCACs offload additional vehicles and supplies and reinforcements. Every load extends endurance. Every delivery builds momentum.
The beachhead continues to grow. Marines establish a defensive perimeter, securing ground for follow-on forces. Landing craft deliver artillery and vehicles. Light armored reconnaissance pushes inland, striking quickly and generating tempo.
The Nemesis, light armored vehicles, M777s, and HIMARS rocket launchers deploy onto the sand, delivering armor and long-range precision dominance straight from the sea to the shore. The Nemesis is a ground-based offensive anti-ship capability that contributes to the fleet's ability to achieve sea control, sea denial, and defense against maritime threats. Nemesis allows Marines to support the surrounding naval forces by countering surface threats without reliance on traditional naval platforms. The remotely operated capability of the Nemesis enables a smaller, more expeditionary deployable capability. Partnered with remote firing positions, it increases survivability on the battlefield and enhances operations for forward deployed forces. The ARG-Mu is the initial stabilizing force that creates the necessary conditions for the arrival of the Joint Force. Overhead, the B-1 Lancer leads a formation of long-range strike assets, armed with precision and conventional weapons to deliver devastating firepower. They conduct a global strike to project power rapidly and decisively anywhere in the world to achieve strategic objectives. Now that the Marines have massed combat power ashore, we begin to set conditions for movement to other objectives further inland. The King of Battle arrives. M777 howitzers are emplaced and prepared to support ground maneuver. The M777 fires the 155mm M795 high explosive round with precision. Sustained at 2 rounds a minute, surging to 4 when demanded. Operated by a section chief and 9 cannoneers. Directed by the Fire Direction Center. Approved by the Fire Support Coordination Center. This is not only steel and power, it is calculation and courage, timing and trust. The quiet math that makes thunder purposeful. The call for fire flows from the forward observer, located with the assault force, to the Fire Direction Center, the mathematicians of mayhem. The Fire Direction Officer and Ops Chief run the numbers. Data is verified, and the Fire Command is sent to the gun line. The crew moves like a single organism. One shoulders the high explosive shell. Another sets the point detonating fuse. Finally, the charge is added. Breech closed, tube elevated. The battery is ready. Then, silence. Thunder! The gun recoils, the earth shakes, and 155mm shell tears through the air. Speed, mass, steel rain, inbound. Corrections flow. The crew repeats, the rhythm builds. 1, 2, a metrodome of steel. Fire, sustained, pressure unrelenting. Motor T waits with fuel and trucks. Comms log every shot. Battalion commander. XO, gunnery sergeant, first sergeant, eyes sharp, watching the battlefield transform. we witness the arrival of the Carrier Strike Group, a formidable force of naval power and precision. As it sails into position to support a dynamic amphibious assault, the Carrier Strike Group represents the pinnacle of maritime capability, seamlessly integrating air, surface, and subsurface assets to project power and ensure dominance across the battle space. At the heart of the strike group is the aircraft carrier, a floating fortress of innovation and strength, serving as the centerpiece of naval aviation. The Carrier Strike Group stands ready to support the amphibious assault, demonstrating the unmatched capability of the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps team.
Behind every movement you have seen is a resilient command and control network, hardened against cyber threats and protected by Marine cyber warfare operators. This seamless flow of data ensures Marines never fight blind. The Marine Corps of 2025 is connected, resilient, and decisive.
This choreography of warfare is directed by the Marine Expeditionary Unit Command Element. The command element, comprised of approximately 200 Marines and sailors, is led by the Marine Expeditionary Unit Commander and supporting staff. They exercise command and control over the Aviation Combat Element, the Ground Combat Element, and Logistics Combat Element. They have special detachments like Signals Intelligence, Counterintelligence, Civil Affairs, Communication Strategy and Operations, and Reconnaissance. From flintlocks to fifth-generation fighters, from wooden decks to steel carriers, the Navy and Marine Corps continuously evolve, but their fighting spirit endures. The message is simple. The Navy and Marine Corps team is ready. Ready to deter, ready to fight, ready to defend the homeland. The amphibious ready groups and Marine Expeditionary Units give our nation's leaders flexible, forward-deployed options that are sovereign, scalable, ready, and in position when it matters most. These formations respond in hours, not weeks, without relying on access, basing, or overflight permissions. Their presence alone can deny adversaries the decision space they crave, shape the battle space, and introduce doubt before the first shot is even fired.
For 2.5 centuries, Marines have stormed beaches, fought in jungles, deserts, and cities, and carried our nation's colors with honor. At Belleau Wood, Marines earned the name Devil Dogs. On Iwo Jima, Marines raised the flag seen around the world. In Fallujah, Marines fought block by block to bring stability in chaos. What you see today is that same spirit, sharpened by modern technology, amplified by our brothers and sisters in the Navy, and carried forward by the Marines of 2025.
250 years, Marines have answered the nation's call. Today, we honor that legacy. From distributed maritime operations to precision long-range fires, from amphibious assaults to cyber defense, the Navy and Marine Corps team is equipped to win. This is the raw strength of America. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our nation's 911 force. Always forward, always faithful, always ready. Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Navy and United States Marine Corps.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome retired U.S. Marine Corps officer and fitness advocate, Kagan Dunlap.
Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the planet right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free. Join the Marines. Oh, man. I was hoping that some of you would get that reference. I'm glad some of you did. So 250 years ago today, or not today, but this next coming month, this year, Captain Samuel Nicholas and his friend Robert Mullen started recruiting Marines in Tun Tavern in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Little did they know that the United States Marine Corps would become known as one of the greatest and most respected fighting forces that the world has ever known. The people they recruited weren't Superman. They didn't have superpowers. They weren't in a Marvel movie. They were farmers. They were blacksmiths. They were tailors and sailors. They were hunters and people that worked with their hands. These people stormed ships, they seized forts, and they stared down the world's greatest navy, which at the time was the British Navy. We didn't offer them riches, we didn't offer them glory, but we did offer them the opportunity to become part of something that was much greater than themselves. Today, when I look out at all of you, I see a bunch of people from all over the world, from all over the United States of America, from all over everywhere. Some people might be from California, there might be some people from Indiana, maybe some from Alaska, maybe some from Hawaii. Some of you may have grown up with lots of money. Some of you might have grown up poor. Some of you might have parents. Some of you might not have parents. But guess what? All of us are here for a reason. We are a family. That's what brought us together. One of the greatest parts about this organization is that we don't care who you are, what you look like, where you're from, what your experience level is, but you are welcome here if you can earn it. And believe you me, you have to earn it. Just like what Sergeant Dakota Meyer said, it's not given. You have to work hard for it. And anything valuable that I've found in my life that I've earned was something I had to work very hard for. And that's just been my personal experience. Now, like I said, when I look out on all of you, I see my brothers and my sisters. You are all family to me. And as far as I'm concerned, we bleed the same blood. We're from the same timeline. We're from the same DNA line as far as I'm concerned. And come hell or high water, we need to support each other. We have to. Because one day, we are going to go to war again. And when that happens, the only people you're going to be able to rely on is that Marine or sailor to your left and your right. And that's it. None of the other stuff going on in the world is going to matter at that point. It's going to be you and your friends to your left and your right. And believe me, if we go to war, it's not just going to be the infantry that's out there. It's going to be everyone. We're all going. So, one of the things you can do, since it is inevitable that this happens, make yourself better than you were yesterday, even if it's just going to the gym. Make yourself tougher. Make yourself more resilient. Make yourself smarter. Study. Read. Look things up. Be situationally aware about things that are happening in the world around you. Because believe it or not, that will affect you directly. Things that happen on the other side of the planet can impact where you deploy. Now, 250 years is not an accident, all right? The reason we're here is not because America needs us, right? Because the Army can do everything that the Marine Corps can do, right? They have all the same capabilities. The Army even has ships. Did you know that? I didn't know that for the longest time. I didn't realize the Army had ships, but they do. But the reason we exist is not because America needs us, it's because they want us. I don't know if you guys noticed, but recently the other day, when Secretary Hegseth was speaking to all of the generals of the entire United States military, one of the things he was talking about was instituting a new fitness test for all of the other branches. I don't know if you guys remember that? Who do you think that he got that idea from? I'm just saying, we've been running 2 fitness tests for a long time, have we not? We run a combat fitness test and we run a physical fitness test every year, do we not? You hear a lot of people talking about standards. Well, we set that standard. At least in my mind, the way I perceive that is that we set a standard that other people saw, and they're like, you know what, I really like that. Maybe we should try that with other people too. Obviously, it's been impactful, it's been effective with the Marine Corps. I bet it could work with other branches too. Let's try it out. You know how the best way you can affect change is? The best way you can affect change or influence people is by setting the example. If you want to impress upon other people to be physically fit yourself. If you want to impress upon other people to go shooting and get out and learn stuff about the country they live in, do it yourself too. You got to lead by example. That's the best way that you can convince other people that that's the right way to do business. All right? And it's going to be hard sometimes. Because some of the most rewarding things I've found in my life are not easy. They're hard. It takes a lot of work. It takes discipline. I wake up every morning at 4:30, not because I want to, but because I have things to do. I don't like waking up at 4:30. Every single day my alarm goes off and I'm like, it's like Groundhog Day. But I do it anyway because I know it's the right thing for me to do because I have things I need to do. I need to get up. I need to shave my face. I need to cook breakfast. I have work to do. You know? And I'll tell you right now, I know a lot of you are a lot younger than me because I joined pretty late. I was 27 when I first joined the Marine Corps. All right? And I may not be as young as I was then. I still take good care of myself. I work out on a very regular basis. That's like a non-negotiable for me. I don't know about you guys. But I want to make sure that I said this to all of you out there because you're in a different place in your life, right? If nobody told you today, Marines, I believe in each and every one of you. I want you to know that. Every single one of you out there. I believe in your ability to carry out the mission. I believe in your ability to defend and support the Constitution of the United States. And I believe in your ability to protect and defend the American people. I'm not going to see any of you next month probably because it's November and I can't be here at that point. So because I'm not going to be here in November, I want to wish you all a happy birthday and Semper Fidelis.
What an absolute honor to be here celebrating 250 years of Marine Corps badassery. And I don't know if you guys enjoyed that demo, but that was either the best recruiting content that the Marine Corps is going to have for many years, or the strongest message to our enemies to never test the capability and ferocity of the United States military. It's also an honor to be opening tonight for the Vice President of the United States of America, J.D. Vance. How cool is that? If you guys don't know, by the way, he is a United States Marine. Standing here among each of you is a very surreal feeling. I represent multiple generations of warriors in my family from World War I, World War II, Korea. My father was the first Marine in our family, serving as a rifleman in Vietnam. Myself and both of my sons, also Marines. One of which also served in Afghanistan. But I have to be honest, while I've had the opportunity over the years to serve and speak to thousands of Marines through my work at Mighty Oaks Foundation, today I struggle with feeling worthy to stand up here and address you all. Not because I don't have anything to say, trust me, I have a lot to say, but because of the weight in knowing that so many have paid such a heavier price on the altar of freedom than myself. Marines, we stand on the shoulders of giants, of titans. And as I stand here on Delmore Beach, I feel very pressed to inform you that this wasn't always a place for special events. Delmore was once a place where Marine recon candidates, ropers as we call them, would come here and get crushed in that frigid surf over to our left. In the sands of this beach right here are the remnants of lots of sweat and blood, my own included. And I recall laying in that surf zone next to an always grinning Foster Harrington. Foster and I served together for 10 years. He was an incredible Force Reconnaissance Marine, leader, and friend who paid the ultimate price for freedom by giving his life in El Elmore Province, Iraq in 2004 when he exposed himself to enemy gunfire to direct a teammate to safety. I knew Foster well. He served in my wedding. He was there when my kids were born. And Foster deeply believed that being a Marine was to be someone special. He believed that being a Marine allowed you the opportunity to do something special, something more important to yourself, for your nation, and for those around the world who couldn't defend themselves. You all felt that same sacred feeling when the moment your drill instructor pressed that EGA into your palm of your hand when you finished your crucible. And I think back of Foster's life, his service, his sacrifice, and so many warriors like him who came before us, Marines in Belleau Woods and Iwo Jima, Incheon and Kaesong, Ramadi, Helmand Province, all those who rose to the occasion in every battle our nation has engaged in since 1775. Marines like Dakota Myers, who you heard earlier, and Kyle Carpenter. The list of our Titans goes on. And as I think about them and the selfless acts of courage they displayed on the battlefield, I can't help but ask myself, where in this day and age can we find such incredible warriors? Where can we find those with the desire, the grit, and willingness to lay everything down for the sake of others? The answer is right here. It's you. Because I truly believe that inside the heart of every Marine and Fleet Marine Force sailor is the same warrior spirit that led Foster Harrington outside of cover and concealment to lead a fellow Marine to safety. Now, I don't know what that does for you, but I can tell you what it did for me. In 2003, I had the opportunity to serve on a contract with the JSOC Task Force, and over the following years, I did 8 consecutive deployments to Afghanistan. It was the honor of my life to get to represent the reconnaissance community and the Marine Corps at what I believe to be our premier special operations unit in the world. And over my time there were some great successes that I'm very proud of, but there was also some hard losses. I lost a number of friends, some Americans and some Afghan teammates. We have many wartime allies that we served alongside with, especially in Afghanistan, like my brother Aziz, who I did all my deployments with, who's right here in this crowd, and I'm thankful for him, and our wartime allies that served alongside of us. Like many warriors before us, I came home and struggled with many of the same experiences. I dealt with debilitating panic attacks, anxiety, depression, and it almost cost me everything, to include my family and a personal battle with becoming another veteran suicide statistic. There were a lot of things that played a role in my recovery. Friends, family, getting active again, but nothing was more profound than the restoration of my faith and committing my life to Jesus. The Marine Corps calls this our spiritual pillar, and is the foundation of our pillars of resiliency. And through that decision, I found restoration, I found hope, and I found purpose. And when I came to a place of clarity, I looked back to Foster Harrington and others like him, and I thought about their lives, and I thought about their sacrifice, and I became both convicted and challenged to live my life to the absolute fullest and live it with purpose, to not mourn their death, but embrace the life and freedoms that they died for. That's part of being here with you today. Passing on the lessons from one generation of Marines to the next, 250 years in and still going. Life as a Marine is hard, but being a Marine is special because it is hard. And as a Marine, you will be asked to do hard things. But when it gets hard, you can always look back and remember those who came before you. We have an incredible heritage of legends like Foster Harrington to learn from. Those who challenge us to dig in when we're called to do the impossible. And respond with the words we read in Scripture from Isaiah 6:8. When asked, who shall I send and who will go for us? And I responded, here am I, send me. Marines and sailors, never in my lifetime, and I've been around this gun club for 30 years now, never in my lifetime have we been more supported by leadership from the top. You have a president and vice president who love you, believe in you, and I can tell you from being in D.C., behind the closed curtains, they're doing everything they can to support you. You have a Secretary of War, and by the way, I love that Secretary of War. I don't know if everybody else feels the same way, but I don't like being on defense. I like being a war fighter. But we have a Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who I love, by the way. But based on his PT scores, I think he should have been a Marine. I don't know why he chose to be in the B team, but Nonetheless, we love him. He's an incredible leader, and he is focused on our readiness, our lethality, and supporting you to do your jobs. We are blessed and equipped, and this is a time to celebrate. So happy 250 years of being part of the greatest fighting force the world has ever known, the United States Marine Corps. Semper Fidelis, God bless you. Hoorah!
You can only pick one branch. Which one are you taking? Marine Corps.
Marines, 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 Marine, Marines, 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 Marine, Marines, 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 Marine Corps, Marines, Marine, Marines, and of course, Semper Fidelis.
Yes, Semper Fi.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome retired U.S. Navy SEAL commander and best-selling author, Jocko Willink.
Marines! All right, Marines, I want to let you know that I consider you to be my brothers. And I want to tell you why that is. First of all, it's because I grew up in the SEAL teams down in Coronado, and we came up here and worked with Marines all the time throughout my career. I did workups right here at Camp Pendleton, did hydrographic reconnaissance on Red Beach, hiked up Las Pulgas Canyon, launched boats out of the Del Mar Boat Basin, get some. And working with the Marines back then, that's when I first learned about the professionalism and the expertise of the Marine Corps. But when the war started, I had the honor of seeing Marines in action, real action. Specifically for me, in the Battle of Ramadi in 2006, fighting alongside 3-8, 1-6, Anglico, I saw with my own eyes the glory that is the Marine Corps. Now, it was the 3-8 Marines, Lima Company, that showed us the ropes when we got to Ramadi. They taught us the tactics that they were using. They briefed us on how the enemy fought. They took us on patrols to familiarize us with the AO. We also learned from Kilo Company, that was down at the Gov Center, where they were fighting daily gun battles with insurgents. And there is no doubt that the lessons that we learned from those Marines made us more lethal and kept us alive. But it's not only what they taught us. On many occasions, Marines aggressively answered the call and provided QRF and fire support that crushed the enemy and got my SEALs out of some pretty rough spots. And we, in the SEAL teams, will never forget that. We also conducted countless operations with Anglico. We patrolled streets with them. We cleared buildings with them. We set up sniper overwatch positions with them. And they were outstanding Marines in every respect. But this was a tough deployment. Soldiers and Marines were wounded and killed in Ramadi every day. We were fighting against a demonic and determined enemy. An enemy with no rules of engagement, no respect for the civilian populace, and no value for human life. And one day, after some of my SEALs turned over a rooftop position to our Anglico brothers, one of those men, Corporal Chris Leon, who was a complete stud of a Marine. He was shot and killed by a single wretched enemy bullet. And Chris Leon was the first Anglico Marine that was killed in Iraq, and he died doing his duty, scanning for the enemy
and protecting the troops on the streets below. And a short while later, on August 2nd, 2006, Mark Lee became the first SEAL killed in Iraq when he was hit by enemy machine gun fire while assaulting a building in South Ramadi. And later that evening, on August 2nd, we mustered at the airfield on Camp Ramadi to send Mark home on his final flight back to America. And when we got there, we discovered that he would not be alone on that journey. Because earlier that same morning, Corporal Joe Thompson, 4th Platoon, Lima Company, 3-8 Marines, one of the outstanding Marines who had taught us how to effectively fight this battle, he was killed by an IED while he was on patrol in North Ramadi. So, we, SEALs and Marine, together, bonded by blood as brothers, we stood side by side and loaded those two fallen warriors onto a Marine Corps CH-46 for their last flight home. And many more brave souls made the ultimate sacrifice on that brutal battlefield. And we will never forget them. And that is one of the reasons why I consider Marines to be my brothers. But there is another reason. And the other reason is actual brotherhood. Because you see, Mark Lee, the first SEAL killed in Iraq, his brother, Chris Lee, he was a Marine. And Ryan Job, one of my other SEALs in Ramadi, who was shot in the face, was gravely wounded, and who later died of his wounds, his brother, Aaron Job, he was a Marine. And finally, Michael Mansour, another SEAL with us in Ramadi, who jumped on a grenade and sacrificed his life to save 3 of our other teammates, who was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. Well, Mikey Mansour's father, George, was a Marine who served in Vietnam. And Mikey's 2 brothers, both of his brothers, Joe and Jim, they're also Marines. And that is why it is an honor to be here today. That is why it is an honor to call you all my brothers. And that is also why I know that despite all the people that fear the rise of evil in the world, despite all the people that are concerned about the future of freedom, and despite all the people that are concerned about the fate of our great nation, I can tell you this: I am not concerned at all. Because I know that no matter what happens, there are some men there are a few good men and women called Marines. And I know that you will never back down. I know that you will never surrender. I know that you will uphold the ideals of this blessed country. And I know that with fire and steel and sweat and blood, you, every one of you, will uphold the heroic ideals of the United States Marine Corps. And that's what I got, Devil Dogs. Happy birthday, guns up, Semper Fi!
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the video screens for the world premiere and exclusive release of the full 250th birthday message from the 39th Commandant and 20th Sergeant Major of the United States Marine Corps.
Since the birth of the Corps, we have answered the call. Through every battle, every climb, in every place. No matter the odds, no matter the obstacle. We adapt, we overcome, and close with and destroy the enemy. We know the future will not be the same, but the one thing we know will always remain is the Marine. For 250 years, we have formed ranks and held the line. And we will for the next 250.
The Marine Corps is a far-flung organization. Detachments of Marines are serving in every Navy yard, naval station, and guarding every naval activity everywhere in the world. I visited a great many of those places. Everywhere I heard expressions of goodwill towards the Marines. Everywhere I observed the friendly relations existing between the people and the Marines.
For 2.5 centuries, we have shouldered the responsibility of freedom on behalf of our nation. Every battle fought and every sacrifice made has been etched into our legacy.
We're Marines. We always find a way to work things out. No matter what happens anywhere, we can make something happen that'll turn the tide of battle.
We are that adaptable to whatever the situation is. We trust our corporals with more responsibility, our lieutenants with more responsibility, our lieutenant colonels with more responsibility than any other branch of service, because we do more with less. There's no other branch that can do that.
It's by far the greatest institution still in my mind on the face of the planet, because not everybody can be a Marine. You have to earn the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. And I think that's what attracts the type of people that the Marine Corps has.
Every Marine who has earned the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor bears a responsibility that stands the test of time to the Marines, past, present, and future.
We don't join the Marine Corps. We are the Marine Corps. Core of our being is that we're convinced we're the best fighting force in the world, and the truth is, we are.
I believe the immediate bond between Marines is so strong just because of the way we're trained. We have a very specific niche culture of, greatness, our heritage, our warrior ethos. I think all those things, separate us, and we find them in each other.
You may have a reason why you join, but there's a reason why you stay. You stay because of everything you're learning about how to be a warrior, how to maintain those warrior ethics, so that when that bomb goes off, you're ready to do your part.
As Marines, our warrior mindset is something that can never be defeated. For 250 years, the Marine Corps has been successful because that's the only option. Success is all we know.
The character of war has and will continue to change. We have adapted, evolved, and innovated, but our warrior spirit remains consistent.
The nature of war is taking something that somebody else has that you want, and it's never changed, probably never will change. The character of war, however, has changed a lot. World War II, we used ships, planes, bombs. All the way to today, we use, as you can tell by the news, we use ships, planes, bombs. We just have a lot better technology.
I don't know that one battlefield's ever been the same for any generation. The types of war, the ways of war, all that is constantly going to be changing. What's going to decide our next and our future wars is not going to be the technology, it's not going to be money, it's going to be the level of the belief of our people, of what they believe in, and the standards that they hold themselves to.
We are more lethal, more capable, and more ready than ever, while grounded in the traditions that made us who we are. We will not win the next fight on platforms alone. It is the Marine who will break the will of the enemy.
As Marines, I believe the most powerful aspect of our training and such an important part of who we are, holding on to that history that came before us. The Marine Corps is lethal because of our willingness and our eagerness to take the fight to the enemy in any climb or place and win those battles, sometimes at any cost.
Our history is not only a story of battles won, it is a story of people, of commitment, of family. An unbreakable bond that transcends ranks and lasts a lifetime.
I think the only way to honor them is to live a life that's worthy of their sacrifices. And the only way that you can do that is by going out and being the best that you can be, by going out